Welcome everyone to the Eternal Everest
Oh,
podcast. We are finally back, boys.
oh yeah.
And we got
After what?
cams on the screen. You can
Hey,
We
see
hey,
got cams.
us.
hey.
We got webcams.
We
We're
got
upgrading.
webcams. Hopefully my outline works and my recording works and we got like a cool little outline I made because I'm getting into graphical design. But we're here.
Because you're cool.
I'll start off with Mark because he's the cutest. Hey Mark, how is your day? How you doing?
Whoa. I'm doing great, bro. I worked today, and I'm home now after work.
Sweet.
12:35.
How are you, Josiah?
JP. Okay, go ahead.
No, I cut
I'm
you
doing
off.
great. I worked today, and now I'm home, so.
Sick, 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 sick.
I did
The
not work
exact
today
same
because
as Mark.
I do not have a job.
It's okay. I
Good
saw you
job,
went
guy.
live today.
JP right here.
Yep.
JP out here streaming.
I
He's
do
out here
be
streaming.
I do be streaming a bit on Twitch.
I'll be a little bit.
Just a
He's
bit,
cool
eh?
like that.
Or
Very
wait a
cool.
bit.
It's been a second. No cap, we have been slacking on recording the podcast.
Yep,
We have just
If
a little bit.
big time.
I've been kind of good on most of my goals, but if there's two things that I said like I would want to change that I've been slacking on, it's effort into this podcast and piano. I said I was going to learn piano and I really haven't practiced at all. It's my bad.
Yeah, happens, bro.
JP.
Just got to get on the
Yeah.
grind.
Because I started learning piano when like I didn't have any video games to play, and then like a couple days after I started learning how to play piano, my graphics card came in. So
Yep.
like I've been having
You have
gaming
video
now
games
to
to
fill
play?
my
I've been
time.
slacking too because of video games.
There have been
And
good games to
listen,
play actually.
yeah, Cold
I
War's
don't play
fun.
video games.
Good.
Yeah,
Like,
I watch
listen,
Netflix.
I
it's kind of a waste of
love
time.
me some video games. It is, but you gotta enjoy stuff. You know what I mean? Like, it can't all be like the grind. You gotta have free time. You gotta,
True.
but
True.
your
I
free
just
time
don't play video games.
can't just consist of video games. So you gotta go out. You gotta do stuff. You know what I mean?
Good grind.
But I
Do
be
your
grinding
laundry.
too much, too damn much. Yeah, I don't even know who you're talking about. I don't even know. I don't even know.
Mark doesn't have any of the line. Mark, don't feel
No
bad.
dirty
You
laundry.
can't see my laundry, but it's definitely in the. You see this black chair in the back?
Yeah, yeah. Is it on there?
There's a bunch of laundry under,
You
like
see this
in the
black
floor.
chair that I'm sitting in? Yeah, this is where my laundry was, and then I
See
moved
this
it
bed
Whoa,
that I'm laying
because
in,
I had it
guys?
fit.
it's really
Sick,
cool.
sick.
Do you guys have any new goals?
Let me. Ooh, maybe. I mean, there might be some
'Cause I
stupid
have,
ones. So here,
A little
how
bit.
did
I
I
have some
update on
written
this?
down.
Okay, so so this is supposed to be a podcast about us keeping each other accountable with like our goals and stuff, but also
We
to
have
like
not been doing that.
true. Also, I mean, we're right now we kind of are,
Yeah, but like
but usually
we
we text
hadn't.
in the group chat more.
Yeah,
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 you're
yeah.
right. But
Yeah.
also, it is tips and tricks for other people and telling us what's worked for us and like us trying to
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
self-improve.
yeah.
Like, no joke, the most helpful thing, I'm talking to you, viewer, if you're watching, the most
Mhm.
helpful thing for me for keeping good habits has been the Days Since app.
Yes.
It's an app
It
that
helps
keeps track
so
Is
of all
that?
much.
your good and bad habits and like keeps count of how many days in a row you've been doing or not doing something. It's really helpful.
Should I? I'm gonna download it right now.
You should
I
download it,
would,
Mark.
I
It's really
like
good.
Mark. It helps so much.
Okay,
You have
okay,
no
okay. Cool,
idea.
cool, cool, cool.
So,
I was lacking so much, and then Thomas was like, "You should get this app.
What's it
You want
called?
to develop an app?" I was like,
just Days
"Yeah,
Since, I think.
Would
What's
you like to develop an app?
Would you like to develop an
I
app?
like to
Yes,
develop an app."
but
I
the
watched that
best
episode
thing,
today.
it's
Sick. Best
great meme.
episode.
The best thing about the app probably is that you can add it as like a widget on your home screen for Apple.
Oh, word.
So
Sick.
like, I'll be surfing around on my phone like, oh, like I'm done with YouTube for now. What else did I want to click? And then like, there's a big button there saying like, oh, you need to do this, this, this today. I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
I do need to do that
it helped me
today.
with reading
Yeah.
a lot.
You
So
what? It helps you with reading. Okay.
yes, like I see, I'm on a streak. I have 24 days in a row of reading at least 10 pages in my book, and
Hey.
I've
Okay.
been
Okay.
knocking through the books that I've been reading. I'm like literally like 10 pages off of finishing the book I'm reading right now.
Okay. Well, as far as reading goes, I have been slacking big time.
Mm.
I think it's because I don't. I haven't found. You guys see it on my webcam? Okay.
I
Anyways.
did.
Yeah,
There's a UFO floating by or
Yeah.
something. I
Yeah. It
saw it.
was. No. I was never attached to 12 Rules of Life, so I'm probably gonna give it back
Hmm.
to JP and then find something else.
Okay.
I want to read it, but like I can't get into it, so I gotta.
you should read Wild at
Yeah,
Heart
you told me that. I'm probably
Yes, you
gonna.
should.
I
because I
walked
It's
through
started
the.
it's
reading
easier
it
to
and it's
read and
amazing.
shorter.
Yeah, I walked through the book section at Target and I didn't find anything except green lights, but I already have it, so
It's so good
it
though.
was so. Did you finish it?
Yeah, I finished it in a day.
I finished it in like 3 days. Yeah, it was so
I have a
good.
plan to read that book. I want to read that book on the beach. I don't know why, I just do. So I'm gonna borrow that
That's
and read it
smart.
this summer.
Smart.
Yeah.
Oh, at the beach.
Yeah, I don't know why. Reading a book on the beach is just like the move. You know what I mean?
Boys, I want to go to Florida.
Let's
Do
go,
you
boys.
now?
Oh, speaking of Florida, kind of not really. I'm thinking about Jonathan, right? So I was
Mm-hmm.
in the car with Jonathan. We were chilling for like an hour, just driving around, and he said a couple things, and I won't say them because it's like personal stuff. But he's kind of like on the grind too, like kind of like us. So I'm thinking we kind of changed up the flow of this since it's kind of like a new start. Since well, not a new start, but we're like restarting because we haven't done this in so long.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What if we add Jonathan to this? And I told JP about this, but Josiah, I want your input. What if we add him so it's like us four, but we do, remember when we first started podcasting, it was like whoever can make it? Like what if we just do it as much as we can? Like let's say 3 days from now, we
We
text in the group
record
chat,
again.
we're like, yeah, who can hop on to record tonight for like 20 minutes? And let's say I'm working, but JP and Jonathan can, or like even if
I
it's just
like
two
that.
people,
I
we
like
just
this idea,
hop
yeah.
on to stay
I like it
accountable.
a lot.
Yeah, let's do that.
Sweet.
So I'll talk to Jonathan tonight or
Yeah.
tomorrow, and we'll come up with a plan for that. So
Yeah.
because
Epic stuff.
I think the schedule for the podcast is good. Like having it once a week is good, but I don't think that's like anything. I don't think that's how it would be most efficient. You know,
Yeah. Just
like I
whenever
think
we
it's
need
literally
it,
yeah for sure. Or like
which will probably be multiple times a week, honestly.
yeah for sure. I've been slacking big time. I've been adjusting though because work is kind of like I went from not working at all, so I had a lot of time to do all this stuff to working 40 a week, like instantly.
Yeah.
So I'm just like drained. So
I know it's
I'm
tiring
slowly getting back to it though. So
That's good.
because you gotta get used to it.
yeah, for sure.
Because I worked 40 hours a week during like the beginning of like quarantine and Corona.
Yeah,
I was dead at the end of every week. I was so tired.
yeah. We need to make a trip. We need to plan a trip, and we need to podcast more. I think that's two of the
Yeah.
biggest
I would
things.
love to do one like first week of January, like for my birthday kind of thing.
Pretty cool, yeah.
Oh, a trip?
If you guys wanted to, like 3 of us, 4 of us.
Sure. Let's do. I'll ask Jonathan. We can. I mean, if that's okay
I'm
with you,
down.
but
No, I
I'm
love Jonathan.
yeah, me too.
I'd love for him to come. I
Down.
haven't
Have you
seen him yet.
talked? Okay, well, I'll talk. We'll talk after about that, but because I don't want to get into his personal stuff if he's on
Yeah.
the podcast kind of thing. But good things from Jonathan, so that's good.
Epic. Here,
One
I
thing
got.
that I've
Oh, you got it.
recently is I've wanted to get my screen time down under 2 hours. Sorry, I need to get some water, but
Me
I'm
too.
almost there. But yeah, I want to get it under 2 hours.
bro. Yeah,
Just like being off my phone less, just kind of being more active instead
Yeah.
of being on my phone. Go read a book. Like I was in my
Yep.
car today waiting for Dylan and Thomas to go to the gym, and I had my book, so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna read my book instead of
smart.
just sitting there on my phone, which is pretty great.
Yeah, I am the same way. I have had Instagram this whole time that we haven't been podcasting, and I love it, but it's terrible for you. Like it's just not what I need in life. So I'm gonna probably delete it.
Yeah.
I'm
So-
going to delete it. How about that? So, yeah, I might. We got
Well-
this like they gifted us like books or like little like notebooks. So I'm probably gonna from Target. So I'm probably gonna like use that, keep it with me wherever I go, and just write in
Yeah.
it.
I'm gonna carry my backpack around with me, so I'll
That
always
too.
have my book and I'll always have my journal
Yep,
with me.
that too.
No, I don't have that. And another thing that I did is I set up my phone, so I literally just have these apps on my phone. That's it.
Really,
And so literally, like I don't have any games, I don't have any social media except
I
for
don't have
Snapchat
games, yeah.
and GroupMe. And so like all I have is like the Compass app, like so I'm not gonna be
JP,
on my phone.
JP, you know who we need
Yeah.
to see? Julian.
True. Yeah.
I haven't seen him in so long. I miss him.
Yeah. I don't know when the next. Me and Mark are part of the same church group. For those who are not aware, so our leader. We haven't really been. Just because. I guess they stopped doing meetings just because of COVID and Christmas.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm not
I
sure.
don't really know. Anyways, yeah, we definitely need to do that. Okay, here. This is one thing I wanted to get into because it's something that's been heavily on my mind the past couple of weeks or so. So, do you
Yeah,
guys
you do.
ever find it hard to be honest with yourself?
Yeah.
Because, like, for me,
What does that mean?
so I'll
Give
explain.
me a situation.
So, like, I feel okay. So to preface this, also awesome, amazing goal because of the Day Since app. Like the two things that I've been really on top of because of the Day Since app are just reading 10 pages a day and then like writing something down in my journal. So like 24 days reading 10 pages and 22 days journaling in a row. That's pretty good for me.
Not bad.
So
Not bad.
I feel like what I've been writing down in my journal, like I want it to be substance. Like I don't want it to just be like, oh, I did this, this, and this today. Like who cares? Like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna look back at that and like really care about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's times when like I'm most vulnerable with like my feelings and like my like self-doubt, I guess. So something that's been heavily on my mind recently because of the two books that I read. So I read Don't Waste Your Life by John Piper and I finished that and I'm almost finished with Wild at Heart. And both of the books talk about your faith with God a whole lot. But the main kind of theme, if I could like combine the two books, would be kind of finding yourself an adventure in your life and finding like a purpose in your life and like what's going to create meaning in your life and like how you go about that.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of just recently started to get really honest with myself because I feel like I wasn't always honest with myself. Like Josiah, I know you talked. Josiah, I know you talked about. Um, we can get into what you're talking about, like maybe going on a missionary, like, or a mission trip or something like that.
Yeah, I'll talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah, but like I don't know where I see myself in the future, I guess I would say. Like it's kind of scary. And but like I've always thought in my back of my mind like what if I wanted to be a missionary? Because I have cousins who are missionaries
Hmm.
that like are like very like, they lived and spoke a different language and like didn't see us for 7 years, And
Yeah,
that
I have
is
people
that is
doing
an
that now.
extreme life commitment. And I feel
Hmm.
Yeah.
like that might be something like maybe not that specifically, but something I'm called to do, and I've always just been kind of like, no, I don't want to do that, just because it's the harder route to take.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And like,
That's one thing that scared me away from it.
yeah,
It's just like the whole change idea.
and
Change is tough, but it's good for the most, or sometimes, not all the time. But
it's been journaling that's like made me realize these feelings and write them down and like force me to think about them and like actually like how you kind of compartmentalize your life in a way.
yeah,
Kind of, yeah.
Like my faith is over here, and then like this
Hmm.
is my work and my school, you know. And when it comes to like what I want to do for the rest of my life and like what I'm going to school for, how does like where God wants me to be in my career or whatever, or what He wants me to do for the rest of my life, or what my adventure is going to be. Because I want my life to be an adventure, you know. I
yeah,
don't
for
want it
sure.
to just
You
like
want to have cool stories.
yeah. Well, not even that. Just like create some action and purpose to wake up every day. Like it could be a 9 to 5 job, but it has to be something that like is meaningful and it has to be something that I feel like God wants me here for a reason,
Yeah,
you know?
Hmm.
And I feel like
So you have a purpose.
yeah, and don't waste your life. The purpose that John Piper talks about that you should have is, doing glorifying God in everything you do and doing what he wants you to do. But anyways, I feel like it's because I've been journaling so much that I've been able to like be real with myself and be like, hey, like I've been kind of wimping out on this and like avoiding it in my mind.
yeah.
As I feel like I do
Yeah.
that a whole lot is
Like
like
just lying to yourself, or not
kind
telling,
of, yeah,
being
it's
truthful with yourself.
Or
maybe
kind
not
of just
even
like numbing the truth.
not even that, just kind of like like it's kind of like a childish thing to like avoid your problems.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like
And
it's
so
kind
now
of
you're
like
like
avoiding your
forced to.
problems. I don't know. It feels like
Hmm.
the most helpful things that I've been doing for like my mental health lately is like things where like it's a problem I usually would avoid, and I just like no, I'm just gonna go do it and get it done. Like I wrote something down in my journal. It was about like a girl or whatever, and she was like talking to me, and like some problems came up, and I was like, usually like the old me would have been like just run away from it, like just like leave her on red. Let's not talk about it. It'll be over in a week. but like I was
Yeah.
like, no, like let's like be an adult
Be a
and deal with
man.
it. Yeah. Like let's be like and like that I wrote that in my journal and I was like, let's see how this goes. So like I confronted it and I feel like confronting your problems head on has been like the best thing for me. And it's when I'm not
Yeah.
lying to myself that I start doing that. I don't know. Just a tangent I went on there.
One
Yeah,
thing
I definitely
about
want to start journaling more.
yeah, me too. Yeah, definitely.
I had a journal. It was just like it was like this big, and like I couldn't write in it. So
I have a perfectly sized journal. Just
Mine's
I
perfect,
never.
yeah.
One thing about that is the one thing about Instagram that's good is I follow some motivational pages. So every now and then I get some of that. But
Mhm.
um, a theme that I keep seeing on there is like just don't run away from your problems. Like face them head on. And
Yeah.
so that kind of just like that just clicked with it, and I don't know. I think especially with me working all the time, it's hard to even like have time to think about my problems now. Well, it's not hard to have time because I definitely have time. I just before we got onto this podcast, I'm a lot more motivated now. But before this, it was like I didn't want to find the time to think about my problems, write them down, stuff like that.
Mhm.
So it's hard to even relate to that because I feel like I'm not addressing the problems in my life, if that makes
yeah,
sense. Because I just don't have the motivation to. But now I don't know. It just things just clicked as soon as we hopped on
you're
the
feeling
podcast.
it. You're in one of
Yep.
those like motivated moments.
It's because of the podcast, bro. I'm telling you. Like as soon as I hopped on, or as soon as we hit record, I was like, "Oh, there it is."
You're like,
Feeling it.
Yeah.
I was like feeling it. But yeah, that's my little input.
Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of crazy. Oh, another crazy thing that happened to me is so one of my newer goals that I've been trying to make is just like making sure that I pray every day. But
That you what?
pray every day.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But usually my prayers would be like to myself and just kind of like thoughts in my head, and I felt like that wasn't very good. So like I've been starting to pray out loud more. And like well, like I say starting to been it's like been like 2 days that I've like been like before I go to sleep like praying out loud.
Yeah.
But the first night I did it, I was like really wrapped up in this whole concept because I just read this chapter of the book talking about like his purpose and like the author's life and what he was talking about. And I talked to you earlier in the week, Josiah, about you doing what you decided to do. And I was like, I prayed out loud and I was like, God, just like show me where you want me in my life. You know, just like give me a sign, like help me. I said like make it clear to me like where you want me so like I can go there. And literally yesterday, the next day, I get a FaceTime call from our friend Mason, and Mason's like, "Hey, we're starting a podcast, and I know you do like kind of like the production stuff for this podcast. Like, would you help us out and like maybe like record it for us?" And I was like, I was like, you can probably do it yourself. I was like, what's the podcast about? And he's like, oh, so me and Cole are going to be interviewing people about when they realized where their purpose in life for God was. That's what the podcast is about. Is like exactly what I had prayed out loud about the night before.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm in. Like if that's not like a sign from God, I don't know what is. It's
Yeah,
just
that's
like
dope.
yeah,
someone reaching out to me randomly, like literally just out of the blue, and it's like, hey, would you like to be on this journey or this podcast? Just helping out, but it's about people finding their purpose and for God. I was like, that's crazy.
That is
that is
crazy.
That is one of like the first instances where like you want to think it's a coincidence, and something in the book that they've been talking about is spiritual warfare and like how you just want to be like, oh, that's a bunch of like spiritual hippie, like, oh, that's just a coincidence, and like how
Hmm.
the like Satan would want you to think that, he's kind of like a catch-22, like I don't know, like it sounds foolish of you to think that way, but that's also what Satan would want you to think. And that's like
Sorry,
one of the
I just had to sneeze.
thanks for not sneezing in the mic, Mark.
I got you, Doc. Don't worry about
Anyways,
it.
that was just a crazy
Go ahead.
experience.
Yeah,
that's really
that's
cool.
wild. I remember very vaguely, um, at Inside Out one night Reed was talking about a story about like I don't even remember what it was, but it was him like I don't remember. It was some guy in a mall or something, and it
Yes,
was.
that
You know what I'm
story is
talking about?
insane.
I can't think.
I
I
can
think
tell the
I
No,
short
can't think about
version
it.
really quick.
Okay, tell it short.
So Reed, our youth pastor at the time, when he was a bit younger and he was just getting into his faith, he was at a mall and they were just trying to like, reach out to people and be like, "Hey, have you heard about Jesus? Like, do you want me to pray for you or something like that?" And just like go out and like spread the word of God in this mall, in Discover Mills Mall near where we live. Like craziest, like, like a bunch of crazy Christians walking around this mall, bugging people that are trying to mind their own business, right? And they're like, just write somebody's name down or like draw someone where you think or something, or like I don't know, or maybe like I think Reed might not have been into it, so he draws this, he's just drawing, and he draws this guy and he names him like, I don't know, remember the guy's actual name, but he names him like
It was like
Jeff.
Elijah.
So, yeah, it was like Elijah
Or
or
no, I don't think he named him. He just wrote down like red shirt, purple pants, blue
Yeah, that's
shoes.
what I remember. Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, well, he didn't name him. I think he actually got him the name though, if I'm not mistaken, which was the craziest part. But he wrote down like a money sign next to him and was like blue jeans, green shirt. And then like he looks up a couple minutes later, blue jeans, green shirt, and he's like, "Hey, do you need me to pray for you?" And he's like, "Actually, that would be awesome." And Reed was like, "Do you like have any like problems that you need me to pray for?" And he's like, "Yeah, I have like some really like financial problems that like I'm going through right now." And like he wrote down the money sign on the picture of the guy, and it was just kind of like crazy because Reed wasn't into it. Like
And then all.
he didn't want to go up and talk to this guy, but after
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did, like it was like the craziest connection ever.
that's wild. Yeah, it's
And I
just there's so many stories like that. It's just like so. It's crazy.
Well, the most telling part about that story, I think, like, is not. I mean, obviously, it's crazy that that happened, and like, I think he actually guessed the guy's name. Like, he wrote down like Tim, and the
Yeah,
guy's name
yeah.
was Tim. Like, that's
I think I
crazy.
might remember a name too. Yeah.
But the most telling part about that story is Reed didn't want to go over there and do it, and I feel like
Yep.
that's
Yeah.
the spiritual warfare that like we don't want to talk about in the church, but it's like the most prevalent thing ever is like your doubts, because there definitely like are some like terrible things that happen in the world, and like there is the part of your like self where you make decisions and it's you making those decisions, but then there's also like thoughts that pop into your head, and I feel like those are actually just like thoughts popped in there by Satan trying to tempt you, sway you, discourage you from doing something that might change someone's life and pray for them. Like
Hmm.
there's a constant spiritual warfare there that the book was talking about, and like that's in that story, that was in my story, I guess. I mean, it's in all of our stories every day, I guess. Whenever you have a doubt about something,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Crazy. Yeah. So while it's quiet, goals that I want or that I have for the near future. One is I had to save up a couple grand for college, so I'm just doing that through working, I guess.
You're a good
Um,
guy.
so that's just small. I
Hmm.
think I'll be able to hit that
That's awesome.
pretty easily. So
Well, you're
that
just
way I
getting
can.
after it. I mean, you're
I'm
working
just
a
getting
whole
after it,
lot,
bro.
man.
Too much,
Yeah.
but I'm not. You can't work too much, bro. I'm chilling, making money. But so that's good. That'll be set, I guess. I do want to start streaming like Big JP over here.
Hmm.
Um, I think I don't know, but like, yeah, I want to
Why
start
why
streaming.
do
I
you want
think
to start streaming?
I don't know because I feel like video games when you're not well, yeah, I guess, but like I feel like video games are a waste of time if you're not working towards something with it. I feel like that's a lot of things too. So if I'm working towards like, having some sort of following on Twitch or whatever, or like, yeah, if I'm working towards something like that, then maybe video games are worth some of my time.
It is a slow grind,
Oh, for
but
sure. And I'm not
it
expecting to get
definitely,
anywhere, but
yeah, it definitely does make video games add like to a purpose to it, just because like you feel
no,
like crap if you're sitting down playing like 3 hours of a game at a
yeah, I,
time.
I can't do that anymore. Like it's just, but if I'm streaming and if I'm, working
It
towards
makes you
something
feel
and
better
after,
about it.
exactly, yeah,
And
if,
it
say,
is somewhat, it's more constructive than not streaming. I mean, all it
yeah,
takes is like,
a
even if you
click,
don't want to interact with chat, Like literally just it takes a click and maybe some frame rates off the game you're playing, and like
Yep.
you could get lucky, you know? I mean,
Yeah. And the thing is, I thought about this yesterday. It was kind of like a big momentum shift for me as far as this goes. In like 10 years, I'm not gonna, if I don't stream in 10 years, like now, if I don't stream now, what I'm gonna be saying in 10 years is like, I wish I like started streaming, you know, just at least did it.
Mm-hmm.
But if
Yeah.
I started, then I'm not, if I start now and go nothing or go nowhere with it, I'm not gonna say, oh, that was so stupid. Why did I do that? I'm gonna say I tried. You know what I mean? Like at least I went through the process of, you know, putting an effort towards it and stuff like that. So,
for sure.
and that's kind of, I guess, with everything, you know,
Mm-hmm.
even if it doesn't work out, so long as you try,
Yeah.
nothing. I mean, obviously
I
things
think there was
go
a
wrong,
quote
but
that I heard a while ago. I think I've said it before. It's a year ago today, you're gonna wish you started today. So
yeah.
For
Isn't that
sure.
kind of like, wasn't that kind of the central message you wanted to get across of this podcast? Or I guess
kinda,
this whole
yeah.
thing. I think I remember you saying that, something like that at the beginning.
Yeah, it's kind of like my like hearing that quote kind of like motivated me. And then
Yeah,
I was looking at the poem in Interstellar. It's like called Rage by Dylan Thomas,
love that movie.
and it's basically like the poem's basically about like live life to the full. Like don't like accept death. Like conquer life. Like have as much fun as you possibly can. Basically.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. It's cool, yeah.
yeah,
There's a quote that I circled from my book that was like that too. That just like motivated me, and it wasn't so much live life to the full as it was like taking the first step and like having some initiative in your life. And like it
hmm
talked about
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Peter walking on the water with Jesus and taking a step out the boat. Like be that type of person, because like
yeah.
those type of people are like admired. I don't know. It was cool. Josiah, you want to talk about road race?
Yes. And then I'm probably gonna need to go to sleep because I'm falling asleep right now.
Okay.
Understandable.
So for a long time, I've been talking about this thing. It's called the World Race, the Gap Tour. It's like a trip that you take between high school and college. Even though I've already started college, you can take it up until you're 20, and so it's a 9 month long mission trip. You go to 3 to 4 countries. Yeah, and you basically like you build stuff. You do like kids camps. You interact with families. You pray for them, which is really cool. And I think because I've been thinking about it for so long, I feel like God is calling me to do it.
I mean, I remember freshman year of high school, you were talking about how your cousin was doing this. Like,
Yeah,
you've mentioned it quite a few times, and
yeah.
I'm
And I
like,
think talking
I'm
to JP really motivated me.
well, I'm just like super proud of you that you said yes. Like, it's a big step in your life, but if there was someone that I would pick to go, it'd probably be you, just because you're so free spirited that
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
mean, I feel like you're also kind of a homebody. Like 9 months away is a long ways away, but
you're
like
chilling though. Just
you,
you,
yeah,
you
you just like
you
go
did
with
that
the
all
flow.
I
summer. You
think,
didn't even go home at once, pretty much.
yeah.
Hmm.
But I think like 10 years from now, like if I look back, I will regret not going
Yeah,
Yeah,
because I'm never going to get an opportunity to like just be like, screw it. I'm going to go leave for 9 months. Like, it's never going to happen again.
yeah,
yeah.
I'll have a
and
family.
you know,
It's
Very
not
true.
happening.
So
and
do it.
like those are the opportunities that like I don't know, like I feel kind of a calling towards, but there's always like the oh like
The fear.
it's not meant for my type of personality type thing or whatever, you know. Which I don't know if it
Hmm.
is. I mean, I actually
You
really
can
do
go
think
with me, JP.
I actually really do think like, God gifts everyone with different spiritual and emotional strengths, and that's just the way of the road. But obviously, I mean, you should
Hmm.
work to better yourself and to better yourself in each category.
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't know. I don't know if mission work is for me. I went on one mission trip when I was a kid, and I was like 8, and like we didn't really do like I was actually like 9 or 10, but we didn't do much. We built like the adults built a playground, but the kids just kind of played with the other kids and put on like
Yeah,
a little Bible study thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it wasn't the best experience for actually, I wasn't nearly as in depth with my faith and understanding of the gospel at that point. So it wasn't really a
Makes
real
sense.
experience, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just really proud of you for taking that step, Josiah. 'Cause,
Yeah,
like,
that's dope. That's awesome.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I'm gonna miss you
Yeah,
though. That's for sure.
I'm also kind
Yeah.
of nervous, but
you
I just need
you
to.
should be nervous, but don't be at the same time. Like,
Yeah.
I'm way more excited than
you
nervous.
Yeah,
got this.
that's
Like,
good.
you
Yeah.
got this.
The only thing I'm nervous about is just like flying. That's the only thing. Like I'm go
What?
leave for 9 months. Like I don't care. I just want
How?
to like leave behind. But I don't know if that's just an excuse I keep coming up with myself.
Oh, I thought you meant you were scared of like the flight over there. I was
Yeah.
like, Josiah,
I
you
was
want to
like,
be a
Oh no,
pilot?
no, no.
I was like,
Josiah, you're trying to be a pilot. Why are you scared of being in a plane?
yeah, I
No,
was
I
about to
just
say.
Oh, I see what you're saying
that's the
now.
only thing that like makes me
Yeah.
not want to say no. But then I'm not gonna be behind because like the job market for flying right now is so bad. So like it doesn't even matter. Like I'm not gonna have
Yeah,
a
it
job
is
coming out.
it's dying off. Certain people want to kill the aviation industry, that's for sure.
Yeah. So we'll see.
We'll see.
I think
All
it'll
right.
be fun.
Well,
Guess this has been the podcast, boys.
yeah. Again, from now on, they're probably gonna be short
Mm-hmm.
because I do think it'll be better for us to just talk about the goals. It'll keep it more focused on something that's like obviously having these conversations about all these different things that we've had has been good, but I think we it's like putting too much time into something that's supposed to be in the background, but like
Yeah.
also in the foreground. I don't know. I just think
Mhm.
that like when we had to do research and stuff, I was kind of like, you know?
Never really
So-
wanted
Yeah.
to do it.
Yeah, for sure. So
Or
I
I
think
just
this will
didn't
be
do it.
better. Yeah, this will be a better change of pace for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Hopefully we stick with it. So, all right. Who wants to close this out? JP?
JP.
I'm the closer, man. Thank you all for watching. If you would like to find us on any social medias, they will be linked down in the description, perhaps, or in our profiles on Apple Music, I think, and we're also on Spotify. We're on YouTube as well. The video version of this podcast will be uploaded to YouTube, and you can see my lovely outline that I've created for the podcast. This has been the Eternal Everest podcast. We will see you next time. Thank you for listening.